Okay, so finally kind of narrowed down with the Dyson SV09 V6, the battery pack issue. The battery pack actually tested good, at least in regards to 20 volts. So I didn't test each of the cells yet, but the end stack, they all appeared to test good. So I'm guessing now then the board's the issue. So that pretty much negates, it's like Dyson stated, you need to replace the pack. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the individual cells that are bad, though. This is 6 cells, so 18650 high drain. If they all test good and charge up good, I mean, that's covering, I think nowadays, at least be the expense of the vacuum. So I think that's correct. I have to go check and see what the price is and see exactly what these specific cells are. Though, what that leaves me with is, and you know, I'll show this a little more too. I wound up using the iFixit awesome toolkit. You know, amount of prices where I got this toolkit, Tack Life, they don't sell it anymore. It was a bummer because it's an excellent price. I wish I would have got another one. It was a little more cost effective than the iFixit one to get all the different tips. Though I love this spudge. This is like, this spring steel, I think they call it a spudge, is excellent. The little one here is okay, but I've beat it up pretty good and I have to grind it. And speaking of grinding the edges flat, tweezers are really nice too. I mean, it's a really nice kit in general, but for the tips, boy, this one is excellent price-wise. But I have some butter knives. I don't know if they're going to be as great as spring steel. My guess is they'll bend, but maybe not. And I'm finding like they're a little thick, so probably need to be ground down a little thinner. Man, that tool is awesome though. Always is. And this, when it unclipped finally, because I didn't really destroy it too much, I had to take this razor blade knife and kind of cut down to bend this bottom down and pry a little more so I get a more leverage to pop this off. Well, when that popped off, this went flying and something went flying the other direction, and I'm not probably going to find that. I suppose it's a spring, and then there's something up with the contact switch, but I did find this part. So I have all this, which would be really, you know, it'd be nicest if I can see if I can go down to a school, a local maker, a fab lab, and get a 3D print, 3D scan of this, and then this whole top section make an STL out of, and then have that switch mechanism with like a momentary contact push button switch rigged so it'll fit with this just trigger assembly, which is literally just a, that's not going to probably screen forward, but you can see in the inside I push forward that little mechanism right there. So when you pull a trigger, it just pushes down. So push down on the battery, the switch on the battery, and that's where the switch mechanism is a little more complicated than the DC 56, which is really literally just a switch. So yeah, so that's something to consider. And then I'm just gonna go ahead, since this charge controller's funky, I guess it's not potted real bad, so I may be able to assess a little more and see if there's a little fuse in there it's bad. My guess would be there's something like a fuse is bad. I don't really know exactly. D6, F1. I think that green right there is 30 in the States. I'm going to test that. That might be what could be bad. I don't know what else. It's not something simple, then it's going to take a lot more time to go through and assess. Actually, it's not that complicated. It won't be too complicated. But I won't disassemble this. I'm going to leave this aside for right now as a repair project. And then I'm going to plan to 3D scan this just so I have this original, and then I have a 3D print, so then that will be useful for myself and the world. So have that available, and then I'll mount. I don't think this specific model. I think I'm gonna use one of the. I purchased online. People sell on eBay. I think Facebook. Facebook also. And you can buy. They'll 3D print for you and sell them. So I don't know. Sometimes it's just easier to cost effective, you know, to have somebody else wants to do that for money. Hey, order it up, you know. You probably can get them to custom do the work for you also. But I can probably have that top part, you know, merged, and so it's all a very stock-like custom build. Anyway, 6 minutes. This is kind of a long time rambling. Basically, this slid apart after I unclipped, and then this section here I needed to unscrew. There's a screw here holding that down, and this back, and then once it came off, this slid right off. So just an FYI. Okay, be safe, take care. Till next time, learn something new.